Hi there, Brad with Encompass Purpose here today. We're going to be talking today about Gen Z. We'll get started right away here. More facts about Gen Zs. Over half of Gen Zs, 55%, use their phones 5 or more hours a day. And if you think that's a lot, there's 26% use their phones over 10 hours a day. Now, that's quite a change from, like, say, maybe baby boomers or something like that, where some of them still have the flip phones. But that's part of this change that we keep talking about, and how people have to get ready for this change and should be actually in the process of doing all this already. Gen Z consumers make up to 61 million individuals, and they're going to be 30% of the workforce by 2030, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Gen Z has a deep understanding for technology. They understand how it transforms the way we work and live these days, and it's just going to increase over time. Gen Z and actually Gen Y understand this. Gen Z is even more, they probably started playing with smartphones before they could even crawl. So 59% learn professional skills and make more money. Gen Z is different than Gen Y, where work is more important to them. 59% would learn a professional skill to make more money. And they're entering the workforce with less experience. Only 19% have had a job by the age of 15 to 17 years old. And now if you compare that to previous generations, that can be about half of what previous generations were. So there's going to be some challenges there where, we're going to have to work with them to show how employment actually works. But Gen Z is very gung-ho on certain things. They are creative, they're accepting, they're open-minded and receptive to new ideas. And they expect, like I said, when they were babies, they had a smartphone in their hand. They expect the internet, they expect online, they expect fast, and they always demand information is available to them. And they grow impatient when it's not. They look to management for kind of immediate access to information and the facts that they need. They want instant gratification, and it's really an advantage to the workplace because they're focus driven. They want to be financially stable, and they have an image of their dream job, what they're looking for. Now, they might not know how to get there, and that's where, the coaching for both them generations are going to come in to help steer them in the right directions. They tend to be focused on growth and opportunity, and like the millennials, they want to take an interest in helping themselves achieve both personally and professionally. So Gen Z, they really demand coaching and the fact-based modalities, the different lean technology or lean methodologies, the agiles, the scrums, things like that, where there's a model they follow and they know it works, and it's really a good thing for employers and management because it really, them lean methodologies really work well compared to some of the other stuff we've been doing the last 30 years. So they may seem demanding and high maintenance, and they are, but they also make excellent employees. So looking for the future, they're going to expect companies to be honest. They value hard work, and they want the same in return. But one thing with the Gen Zs is they crave conversation, they crave coaching, they crave dialogue. They want to be responsible, and they look for guidance. They don't have a lot of the, work, ethic put into them. They've never had that. Most of it never had jobs. So when they start with an employer either is going to have to spend good majority of the day with them, helping train them in, or focus and goals, or again with the coaching. So it sounds pretty familiar, really, compared to the last show. The only thing is millennials did hold jobs quicker than the Gen Zs did. So now you really have a choice right now between Gen Y and Gen Z, the millennial and Gen Z. You can either put your company on hold for 50 years, or you can start implementing these changes that both generations will kind of demand. And if you do that, it's going to actually help your companies compared to the last 30 years. We've gave a lot of lip service, but not really facts and different lean techniques that can really help your company. Gen Z has highly defined goals, what they want. They need strong peer leadership, and Gen Z needs training in interpersonal communication skills. Because of the way they grew up, they just don't have that. And business executives, leadership coaching will be mandatory to give them the skills that are needed, to give them the focus that are needed, and to give what is demanded of their position. They'll be coming into this all new. They won't know what to expect exactly besides a perception in their head, where an employer will have the obligation, either with a coach from outside the company or coach inside the company, to help so they know the demands. They're willing to do the demands, but they don't realize what they are. So you have to realize they grew up with participation trophies, and they love to be recognized. They love rewards. Even if they're small accomplishments, they like to feel motivated. And that's why coaching will give your company such a good ROI. Now, organizations with viable reward programs, they'll meet expectations, they'll encourage growth and performance. Gen Z thrives on opportunity. So they lead and they want frequent job changes, actually. So they're willing to work and climb up that ladder and change positions. So now, the one thing they want to make sure their dreams are able to happen in a company. They're attainable. And the coach will give guidance during this to help them be successful and help the company. Actually, between millennials and Gen Z can be more successful than ever before, really. Now, they want to hear their leaders, and they want their leaders to listen to them. They have incredible curiosity. And the leaders need to talk the talk and walk the walk. In the last 30 years, we've been really good with the talk, but, the walk we've just let go. And I think with both these generations coming up, it's going to be the walk and the talk, which is going to be an excellent thing. But leaders have to get their heads out of the sand and start to make some of the changes that we need. And we've just ignored these generations, and that has to stop. And you have to embrace a change. It's all they've ever known is to be optimistic, and the leaders need to show them that they understand. And while Gen Y and Gen Z, they can handle large amounts of information because of the way they grew up. They're less concerned about privacy, and they're looking for a bigger cause, really. Gen Z doesn't see any reason to distinguish between their work and their personal life. For them, work they love and the life can blend together. And Gen Zs are resourceful, they're creative, they love suggestions, they love goals. And both them and millennials want to differentiate themselves. They really want to work, and they want peers, more team effort. Now, they're flexible, and they'll give back substantially. And now that we've learned a little bit about Gen Y and Gen Z, in the next episodes we'll be going on to some different things, how to make everything work together. But one thing you can't do, there's 140 million people that are entering our workforce. and you can't just ignore it anymore. You can't keep doing things the way we've done them for 30 years, because these generations are much different than what we've been doing. And if you plan on doing what you've been doing the last 30 years, you just will not exist. Now, Isaiah 43:18 and 19 talks about change. Forget the former things and don't dwell on the past. See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wastelands. Way back thousands of years now, it's always been about change. It's time you think about change. We all needed it decades ago. It procrastinated to the point where change is no longer an option. It needs to happen. It needs to happen now. So the changes are good. They're going to bring large ROI for you, higher revenue streams, more efficiency, and it'll help embrace a better normal. There is so much these two generations really have to offer, but it can't be the old style thinking that really didn't work for 30 years to start out with, but now it absolutely needs to change. We need them way more than they need us for the workforce for the next 50 years or so. So it's really up to you if you want to continue to stumble and be on that hamster wheel. And what's going to actually happen is that hamster wheel is going to tip over and you're not going to exist anymore. Or you can embrace these generations, learn more about them, and actually your company will do better, your bottom line will do better, and I think the whole environment will do better inside and outside of work. Just getting along, knowing each other, rather than just ignoring these two generations, which has been kind of a ridiculous way to handle stuff. So until next time, God bless and have a great week.